the reason why my feet can't stop, my heart can't help but sing. It's a wonderful feeling to feel your love for me, to feel the joy you bring. Your love is the answer, so I sing to you. The reason is you, Jesus.
You're why I'm singing now.
The reason is you, Jesus.
You're what it's all about.
At the cross you set me free, and I'm thankful that you love me. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. I'm thankful that you love me. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. I know the reason why my hands are up, my feet dance down below. It's a wonderful feeling that I belong to you, no matter where I may go. Your love is the answer, so I sing to you. The reason is you, Jesus.
You're why I'm singing now.
The reason is you, Jesus.
You're what it's all about.
At the cross you set me free, and I'm thankful that you love me. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. I'm thankful that you love me. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. All right, let's get it. Come on. 1, 2, 3, sing. I can't stop this feeling. Jesus, you're the reason. I never wanna shake this feeling. Jesus, you're the reason. Come on. I can't stop this feeling. Jesus, you're the reason. Let's go. I never wanna shake this feeling. Jesus, you're the reason. The reason is you, Jesus.
You're why I'm singing now.
The reason is you, Jesus.
You're what it's all about.
At the cross you set me free, and I'm thankful that you love me. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. So thankful that you love me. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Come on, come on. I can't stop this feeling. Jesus, you're the reason. Let's go. I never wanna shake this feeling. Jesus, you're the reason. Come on. I can't stop this feeling. Jesus, you're the reason. Come on. I never wanna shake this feeling. Jesus, you're the reason.
Morning, family experience. Welcome back to another amazing day learning about grit. Today we're going to learn all about how God can help us to live with grit.
Does anyone remember what grit means? Let's say it together. Grit is refusing to give up when life gets hard. Good job, guys. Life is full of ups and downs. You could probably think back over the past few days and think about some things that went really, really well. But you could also probably think about some things that didn't go so well. Like for me, I broke my favorite pair of my sunglasses. I was not very happy when I squished them by sitting on them. But I had a big up too. I got to play with a brand new puppy. It was so cute. See? An up and a down.
The important thing is to remember that God is with you through all those ups and downs. God can help you to hold on and keep on going. It's kind of like when you're trying to climb a big, tall mountain and you can see ahead of you there's a super steep cliff. Well, someone who is hiking that mountain has to have grit to keep on going, even when the route ahead is super challenging. To start off our time today, I thought we could play mountain charades. We are going to say some different words that resemble going out hiking or climbing, and you at home have to help us think of some charades that are going to go along with it.
Cool.
Get the whole family involved in this, guys, and we're going to make sure you take a video of your favorite action and send it to us on our Kidspace parent page. All right, let's get into it.
All right, guys. The first one is walking up a steep hill. What could we do for that one? Whoa. Whoa. What's the next one, Hannah?
Carrying a really heavy backpack.
Oh, what would that look like?
Put it on.
Oh, that's heavy. Wow. Whoa, weighing me down. Whoa, did you guys do the same thing? All right, the next one is drinking lots of water. This one's easy. What's the next one, guys?
Swimming in the river.
That's an easy one. We all know how to swim, maybe. All right, the next one is collecting some cool rocks and plants on your walk. That would be like
Nice.
looking and picking
Bending
things
down.
up, maybe putting them in your heavy backpack. All right, what's the next one, Hannah?
Using our trusty hiking poles.
Nice. I want to see you guys with your hiking poles. And we've got one more for you guys. It's using our carabiner to hook onto our belt and to go up the mountain. Now, we looked at a carabiner last week, so you guys remember? Hook it on, and then what? We climb up on our ropes up the mountain. Wow, guys, that was so much fun. Hannah, I loved your charades. You were so creative. I just love that game. Now we're going to hear what happened to Joseph, and I can't wait.
Hey everyone! Well, we are at the bottom of the roller coaster in Joseph's life. Let's find out if it gets any better. During his time in prison, Joseph had interpreted the dream of Pharaoh's drink taster and asked the man to put in a good word for him, you remember? But the drink taster forgot until 2 years later when Pharaoh called his advisors together.
I had 2 dreams last night. Who can tell me what they mean?
No one could help Pharaoh until the drink taster, finally remembered Joseph. Pharaoh called for Joseph at once. Now, it must have been a serious shock to be pulled out of prison after so many years and marched straight into the palace.
I've heard you can tell what dreams mean.
Oh, I can't do it. But God will give the answer.
I saw 7 fat cows come out of the river, but then 7 thin, ugly cows came up after and ate the fat cows. After that, I dreamed about 7 full heads of grain on a stem. 7 weak, thin heads grew up after them and swallowed up the 7 good heads.
God has shown you what will happen. 7 good years with plenty of food are coming, but then 7 years without enough food will follow. Pharaoh should look for a wise, understanding man to take charge and store some of the food in the good years so there will be food to use later.
God has made all this known to you. I'm putting you in charge of the whole land of Egypt.
Think about it. It had been years from the time Joseph's brothers sold him until he was taken out of prison. And then, in a single morning, he was made second in command of the whole land of Egypt. Joseph traveled all over Egypt and helped to store up grain during the 7 plentiful years. And when the years of hunger began, Pharaoh sent everyone to Joseph to buy food. Now, the famine spread far beyond Egypt. It even reached into Canaan, where Joseph's father Jacob and Joseph's brothers lived. And they soon became desperate for something to eat.
I've heard there's grain in Egypt. Go buy some for us so we won't die.
Jacob would not let his youngest son, Benjamin, go. But the older 10 brothers made the long journey to Egypt and came before Joseph. Joseph's brothers bowed down to him, just as Joseph had dreamed about so long before.
We've come to buy grain. We're hungry.
Joseph recognized them, but they did not know who he was, so Joseph decided to test them.
You're spies!
No, we were 12 brothers, sons of one man in the land of Canaan. Our youngest brother is now with our father, and one brother is gone.
Joseph continued to test his brothers. He ordered them to leave Simeon behind, return home, and come back with Benjamin as proof of their innocence. Joseph had their sacks filled with grain and sent them away. Along the way, the brothers discovered that their money had been returned. When they arrived home, they showed Jacob the grain and told him everything that had happened.
We have to take Benjamin back with us.
Joseph is gone. Simeon is gone. I won't let you take Benjamin.
At first, Jacob refused to let Benjamin go, but soon, all the grain brought from Egypt was gone.
Go back. Buy us a little more food.
The man warned us we can't return without Benjamin. I promise to keep him safe.
All right, but take gifts along. Take twice the money. May God cause this man to show you mercy.
Once again, the brothers made the long trek to Egypt, this time with Benjamin. Whew. When they arrived, Joseph ordered that the brothers be taken to his own house, where a special meal was prepared.
Is your father still living?
He is alive and well.
When Joseph heard that his father was still alive and saw his younger brother Benjamin, he was so moved, he left the room and wept. Then a short time later, at last, Joseph told his brothers who he was.
I am your brother Joseph, the one you sold into Egypt. But don't be angry with yourselves. God sent me ahead of you to save many lives.
Then Joseph hugged his brothers and wept. He forgave them. He told them to return to Canaan and bring Jacob and the rest of the families to live in Egypt where they would have enough food, and that's exactly what happened. Joseph's entire family packed up and traveled to Egypt. Joseph finally saw his father Jacob again. The whole family settled in a place called Goshen and had enough to eat through the rest of the famine. The end.
Joseph forgave his brothers. He told them to go home and bring their dad, Jacob, and the rest of their families to live in Egypt where they could have enough food. The whole family settled in a place called Goshen, and they had enough to eat through the rest of the famine.
Joseph's story teaches us this, that God had a bigger plan through all of the ups and downs in Joseph's life. In the end, God brought Joseph's whole family back together, and God worked through everything that happened to save so many lives.
There's something really important for us to remember. When we're in the middle of a really difficult situation, it can feel like what we're experiencing is just always how it's ever going to be. Or we might think that there is no chance of a good ending. But we follow a God who specializes in taking pretty tough situations and finding a way to turn them around. God even turned Jesus' death into Jesus' resurrection. This doesn't mean that every situation will have a happy ending, but when we believe that God is telling a bigger story with our lives, we can have hope that God sees it all more clearly than we can.
Let's hear our family question for today. When has something turned out better than you expected? When were you convinced that the ending of something was going to end in tragedy, but God was able to do something different with your story? How can remembering this help you with what you might be experiencing right now? Why don't you grab mum or dad or someone older in your family and ask them to talk about this with you? Spend time discussing all of the different questions and let each person share their own experience. And then after that, spend some time praying as a family and thanking God for being always trustworthy in the past, and ask God to give you strength to show grit with what you might be experiencing right now. Then guys, come on back to the Kidspace parent page for another So-and-So show. See you later!
Bye!
I know the reason why my feet can't stop, my heart can't help but sing. It's a wonderful feeling.